Hello and welcome back, Transformer TCG fans. Okay, I have a lot of stuff I want to go through. Yeah, we still have 2 characters left on the Ultra League. This is the symbol for it. We'll get to that probably, hopefully, in the next video here or two. There's so much stuff. This is so exciting. I don't know how well these cards are going to work. I think they're going to be okay. They may not be as strong as some official cards. It's just a different way to play. If you want to try this or not with these counters that I have labeled D counters, the D can be damage, it can be destructive. The action card is called destructive counter, I believe. And I just shortened it to the D once I realized other people have other counters labeled as well. My torque doesn't have, it just says counter on there. I'm not changing that because there's so much text on there anyway, and it's just a stratagem. And those counters are not D counters. Those counters are for Torque himself, that or do something different. But we're not here to talk about Torque, which I like that too. But maybe I should have just called everything a counter instead of a certain kind of counter. But I think this works. Follow with me here, because we started with the destructive counter, blue-green action card that lets you put one D counter on an upgrade. The Mega Charge is the orange action card that allows you to put 2 D counters on one upgrade. The destructive counter can let you only put 1, so I went ahead and put a green pip on there so you can get it back on the flip. The Mega Charge, you can't get that back on the flip. Counter Plan is the secret action, and I think we've gone over this before. It's the secret action that's black and blue. The black is for the Decepticons only, but anybody can use the secret action, okay? Therefore, anybody can get the blue on the flip. Anybody can get up to, when one of your characters defends, put 3 D counters on an upgrade. And then I have after battle scrap the upgrade, I believe, for counter plan. So that's something you're going to have to keep up with. But counter plan does allow you to put 3 counters on one upgrade. Originally it was only going to be armor upgrades, and I changed it to any upgrade because we're going to have utility upgrades that can help you defensively, armor upgrades that can help you defensively. Counter plan is great for as an offensive card on the flip, having black for your Decepticons, at least, you know, Pierce 1, but anybody can get the blue, okay? So that is counter plan. And once you put those, you know, and this is going, the text on counter plan is going to overrule other upgrades with abilities. If it says a max of 4, a max of 3, a max of 5, a max of 6, haven't made one with a max of 6, but you know, where I have a max of 5, like say the welding, but then, you know, the welding gun is not a defensive ability that you would want this secret action to put 3 counters on, so that you're not going to do that. You might put it on something, say the fortress armor or the phase shifter or something different, or the laser core or something to that effect. Now, the laser core, I don't know if I would do that in a, let's get into that. Let's just get into it. And now we have 2 more. Maybe I've gone all over this in a previous video. I didn't listen to it. And I also made 2 simple action cards, 1 orange and then 1 blue. Ponder the Steel is an action orange pip card. Scrap 3 off the top of your deck. Each upgrade scrap this way, you may put a D counter on an upgrade. So if you do scrap 3 upgrades, you can put 3 different counters on 3 different upgrades. It's different from Mega Charge. Mega Charge lets you put 2 on 1. They have to be the same upgrade. So there's a point to all this. That's Ponder the Steel. Then Underwater Search is an action card that is blue, which allows you to scrap 3 cards off the bottom of your deck. A little harder to do, but not really. For each action scrapped this way, put a D counter on an upgrade. So if you happen to scrap 3 upgrades, again, scrap 3 actions, again, you can put 3 different counters on 3 different upgrades, or you can put them all on one, however you want to do it. So I have that label written in a way you can put, build up your upgrades with counters, or you can, boom, I got welding gun, let's get this sucker to 5, make sure I can get a Pierce 5, because I'm not going to get any bolt off of it, or any extra attack. So there's that. So again, it's making Fusion Boar look like a baby mammoth, you could say, even though Fusion Boar is a very solid card. And just like Dan said, yeah, we probably should have 3 Fusion Boars in every deck. But Welding Gun, once you get it maxed to 5 and you attack it, scrapped. Okay, that's why I didn't give it a star. Hot Rod's Dual Bow, we went over that. It's a weapon that's blue with +2 to attack. The D counters, boy, that almost came out bad. The D count damage, I'm wanting to say damage. The D counters equals bold, 1 bold. You can have a max of 3. Hot Rod, it gives Hot Rod only Pierce 1. So if you have an old-fashioned surprise attack, that's Pierce 4, etc., etc. You got on some brass knuckles, you can get more bold, you can flip more Pierce, etc., etc. You see what we're doing here. I think this makes sense. Mouth Blaster is another weapon that has a black pip card. It gives Pierce 2 to anybody wearing it. For Titans, it gives them an additional Pierce 2. When you put this on Triptychon, you can scrap an upgrade. So I went ahead and gave it the Decepticon faction symbol on here. D counters equals bold 1 up to a max of 2. So you're going to be able to get a 2 bold, Pierce 4 on Titans. Again, you put it on a Triptychon, you can scrap an enemy upgrade. So there's a lot going, but it's also, again, very simple at its core. Titan Sword is a white and blue pip. It's another weapon that can only go on 6-star characters and above. D counters give a character bold 1 up to a max of 3. If you put on a melee character, do 1 damage to an enemy. So I think Triptychon in his alt mode is melee, and then there's one other official Titan that's melee, and I forgot who it is. Oh gosh, I want to say like Defensor maybe. So they're both Decepticons, I do remember that. So only the Decepticons can only get the plus do 1 damage to an enemy when the Titan Sword is put on them. But any character that is 6 stars and above. So we have an Optimus, we have a Megatron that can wear this. Your combiners can wear this. They're going to be able to get the +2 to attack. They're going to get up to bold 3 if they happen to be melee. Okay, see where we're going with this? I think it's a nice weapon. I think it may not be called a Titan Sword, but that's what I'm calling it, because I think this is actually from the Mechanima trilogy. Fortress Armor, one of the few armors that I created. Most of this are weapons, and I have one or two utilities. The Fort Armor has +1 to defense for anybody that wears it. It's a white and black pip card. It gives Pierce 1 automatically, which is not bad, but it's kind of weak, I will admit. The damage counters, or D counters, give Tough 1 up to a max of 3. When this is put on a Fortress Maximus, in alt mode. So it has to be for if. And I made this an Autobot card because it's idiomatic. It has an idiomatic trigger for Fort Maximus only. Just like the Mouth Blaster has an ability that is only going to trigger on Trypticon. Now, maybe I should do the Mouth Blaster like the Titan Sword and only like maybe 15 stars and up or something. Give me your thoughts on that. Same with this Fortress Armor. Originally, it was only going to be for Fortress Maximus. And originally, the Titan Sword was only going to be on Titans. And the Titans can only get the white on the flip for the Titan Sword. And I thought, well, you know, let's not make it that restrictive. That's a big crow. I thought you were going to see it here, but maybe not. No, but... And I thought, let's back off on some of these restrictions. And so, the Fortress Armor, anybody can actually equip as of right now. When you put on Fortress Maximus in alt mode, he has to be in alt mode. Then you can reveal a card. I don't have this verbatim, but reveal a card off the top of your deck. If it's a weapon, you can play it. So that's for Fort Maximus. But anybody that wears this armor can get Pierce 1, get up to a max of Tough 3. And it's got +1 to defense all at the same time. This Titan Sword had +2 to attack. We've gone over the welding gun. The torpedo launcher I really like. It's an orange green pip card weapon. The D counters give bold 1 up to a max of bold 3. When this attacks with at least 3 D counters, scrap it after battle. So you can keep it at bold 1, bold 2, and pierce 2. Again, this is letting you flip more. It's not 2 to attack and pierce 2, or 3 to attack and pierce 3 like a fusion bore. It's letting you flip more. So I wanted to make, these are sort of my watered down versions. I wanted to be able to get some on the flip, so I gave them a green pip. And I thought, well, let's do max of 4. And I'm like, max of 4 still seems kind of high. So I thought, and max 2 just didn't seem worth it. So I thought, well, let's do max 3. And at max 3, you'll have to scrap it. And depending on your, how you make your deck, if you want to, black orange deck, whatever, blue black deck, I said that wrong, didn't I? Blue black, orange black, etc. You can get some attack and get some added pierce in here too. Depth, while this is equipped on depth charge, he has pierce 2. So only depth charge is going to get pierce 2 with the torpedo launcher. Just like Hot Rod's dual bow is only going to give him pierce 1 while that's on him. Target box, I added the D counters to this also, but it works in a different way. Target box, I brought this back. I had to recreate it. It is a blue pip utility card. After this defends, reduce your attack by 1, and then put a D counter on this. When this has 2 D counters on this, scrap this card. So you're going to be able to deflect. It's kind of like Knack, I think. I don't have any cards with Knack. I haven't printed any of ATP's stuff out. And I finally got to print some of my stuff out for a change, and I'm sharing that with somebody. Maybe I need to share that with y'all as well. But my wife doesn't know I do this. I mean, she does, but she's forgotten. But anyway, so that's target box. And then there's another card. Let's move. Just go to it real quick and get out of my upgrades. Stack. Stack is an action card. I've had this image again for like a year and a half. Didn't know what to do with it. And since I started these D counters and I saw them stacking up the little things, the little Energon zipper thing, that sent Cheetor from their base to the enemy base, I'm like, ooh, this works. Stack is an orange action card. Move an opponent's D counter from one upgrade to another. I've changed it. It originally was from one upgrade to an upgrade that doesn't utilize D counters. And I thought, that worked. But in the realm of target box, if someone has target box on them and it says if you have 2 D counters on this, it must come off. So, but it utilizes D counters. So with stack, you couldn't do that if one person has stack and the other one has target box. And I thought, well, I hadn't revealed this stuff yet, so I'm thinking, well, stack, let's just move a D counter to another upgrade. It doesn't have to be an upgrade that utilizes D counters or not. See where I'm going with this? So if you have stack and your opponent has a target box and you've already attacked them once and they had to reduce their attack by 1 and put a D counter on stack, well, now on target box, now with stack, and if they have a weapon or a utility with D counters on them, with stack, you can go, okay, move a counter from your weapon blaster to target box. It now has 2, it has to come off. So it's I guess you could call it a watered down version of Vaporize, but only in that scenario. Okay, let's keep moving. How far did we get? Let's phase shifter. And I've got the phase shifter, and I have another fancy schmancy artifact from Transformers Prime as well. Let's see what you think. Phase shifter is a blue-green, so you can get this back on the flip. Blue-green pip, phase shifter. D counters give tough 1. If you notice, the phase shifter does not give attack, nor does it give defense. It's only going to give tough. So when this defends at a max of tough 4, reduce your attacker's pierce to 0. Then scrap this card. So not only are you going to be able to get tough 4 off the phase shifter at its max, they got pierce. Nope, their pierce doesn't work. It fails. But then you have to scrap the card, but it's got a green pip, so you can always get it back on the flip. How about that? That's the phase shifter. It even works with this artifact. Wow, I really like that. So it's, get your, you can try to get a counter on that, and then maybe with the secret action, with counter plan, which is a blue-black, maybe you used underwater search and scrapped 3 off the bottom of your deck and got 1 or 2 on there, and then with counter plan with a secret action, you're able to get the rest of them on there. You have 4 on it, you're now defending, their pierce fails, scrap the card, get it back in your scrap to get it back in your hand eventually, or flip for battle. I like that. Have I tested these? No. Have I printed these? I have printed. I think I have printed some of these. No, I haven't. I printed a bunch of my KO stuff, but not this stuff. So this is not tested. And then the other one is the Forge of Solus, which is an orange-black pip, a weapon with +1 to attack. And that's it. No, I'm just kidding. D counters give bold 1. After it attacks with a max of bold 4, your opponent must scrap an upgrade, and then the Forge of Solus has to be scrapped. So you are going to be able to get +1 to attack off the Forge of Solus. You can get up to bold 4 with the Forge of Solus. Once you attack with bold 4, scrap an enemy upgrade and scrap that card. And then you have to scrap the weapon. But it is an orange-black, so it's got a lot of potential here for an offensive card, both as a weapon, but as well as the flip. When it's on an Autobot, Autobots get pierced too. So once it's maxed out, you're going to have to scrap it, but you get to scrap an enemy upgrade at the same time, and then it comes off. Let's go. I think I have one more. We're almost done. Wow, 20 minutes and we've gone over so many cards. Laser Core. Laser Core is a blank utility. It is a star card that gives +1 to defense, which that in itself is not bad, but wow, that's terrible for a star card. So Laser Cores. Okay, this is a picture of Megatron's inside from Beast Wars. But if we remember, Megatron in G1, in the original 80s cartoon, they didn't have sparks. They called them laser cores. So we're using a G1 term with a picture from Beast Wars of Megatron's. Let's see where this goes. Leaders only. Put on leaders only. D counters, I want to say damage. D counters equals 1 health. Oh, okay. And you can have up to a max of 5 health that with counters on this that it can have. So this is a unique utility that can eventually get up to 5 health to a character for your leaders. And yes, we have what, a 6-7 star Bumblebee leader, I think. Hey, we got leaders. We've got 5-star leaders as for combiner teams, but you know, this has got a star card in it. So if you're only doing the 25 stars limit, you can't play it. So there's that. But there's some opportunities going here, guys. When I'm trying to read my scribble here. D counters is 1 health, max of 5 health. Okay, after this battles with a max of 5, you're going to have to scrap the card. So you're going to hope when you scrap the laser core, if you do have a max of 5 health, if scrapping this card KOs your character, which is very possible because you may be hanging on to the health of the laser core itself. Boy, that sounds right, doesn't it? You're going to be able to do 1 damage to an enemy when this is scrapped. So if when you battle with it maxed out, so you may not want this maxed out. That's why I've made weapons, armors, and utilities to be able to have all these D counters. It's a different way of playing the game. It seems very fun. It seems different. It seems like a lot of dice. I know. But to where you can use a 6-sided die on each upgrade of different colors if you want, whatever. So you don't mix it up with your own damage dice or damage counters. And that's the point of giving them a different name. So if you want to give it health of 4, give it health of 4. And with that, unlike the Black Pip official cards that gives +3, +4, and +2 extra health to your characters, this gives +1 to defense. So if you don't want to max it out, you're going to at least be able to get +1 defense off this utility. And I gave it a star card because made it a star card because you can can give up to a max of 5 health. And its unique trigger is that when it gets scrapped, it may KO your character, but you're going to be able to do damage 1 to an enemy. Yes, I just repeated myself the whole thing, but I want to really emphasize that. And I still debate on whether it needs to be a star. I still debate. If you think, well, Grillenheimer, that's great, but maybe we should take the star off because this is so temporary. It's so glass cannon. Just take the star off. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. But that is all I've got right now. the more to come. I have made so many more cards, and a lot of them don't have anything to do with these counters. But this is all of them. This is the majority of them, okay? So we went over, oh my gosh, we went over everything. We went over the D-counter card, destructive counter. We went over Mega Charge and Counter Plan, Ponder the Steel, Underwater Search, the 5 main cards that can help get you D-counters on your upgrades, as well as moving your opponent's upgrades without just using a simple Vaporize, would work too, with Stack. And then we got into all these different weapons and armors and utilities, from Hot Rod's Dual Bow, the Mouth Blaster, the Titan Sword, the Fortress Armor, the Welding Gun, the Torpedo Launcher, the Target Box, the Phase Shifter, the Forge of Solus, and the Laser Core. What do you think? Is this the way to go? To me, it seems very, very fitting. This is a neat direction to have the game go into, to where the strength of the cards varies depending on the counters on it. And when they are at its strongest, they have to be scrapped. Say like a grenade launcher. If grenade launcher was something that required counters in order to give it that +4, you know, and I really wanted to go with the flipping with bold and tough instead of attack and defense with counters, but that's what Torque is for. But I might add some more. I'm slowly kind of watching some shows and stuff, and been watching some Transformers Prime a little lately, and I'm like, gosh, I forgot how good this is. So that's all we have for now. So much more to come. We need to finish Buddy's Ultra League, go over Optimus Prime, and I forgot who the 5th one is. Go over those 2 characters, which may be after Christmas, guys. I'm in the heart of Christmas holidays. I was just out and about. I got to go to the store and get some stuff. Is that someone in a Spider-Man suit? What am I seeing? I don't know what. Anyway, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Have a blessed day. We'll see you next time. And as always, flip out and let's roll for it.